This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
And welcome to the program. I'm Roby Brock. Glad to have you with us. I'm joined now by Janelle Lilley. She is the weekend anchor for KATV Channel 7, and she is also a Capitol reporter for KATV. And Wes Brown, senior writer for Talk Business and Politics, also covers the Capitol a lot. And we got a lot of politics to talk about this week. Let's begin with casinos. In Pope County, we had Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, a bunch of activity up there. Janelle, I will come to you first on this. Were you surprised that they went the quorum court route to get the approval that they needed?
Surprised? No, because it's written in the law that you're allowed to do this. So it's one of two ways that this was going to happen, and the quorum court just seemed to be the only avenue. But I was a little bit taken aback at how quickly all of a sudden it came about.
Yeah, and you know, that dynamic, it creates this city versus county thing that's going on in you know, they're probably going to put one outside of the city, and then you have other applications for inside the city. Yeah. So it's just it's an interesting dynamic.
Created a whole bunch, though, between the other casino operators as well, too. It was interesting when I'm doing background and kind of collect all the information that I could this week. I am literally you could have had a Capitol lobbyist reunion up in Russellville. There were so many people working.
Yeah, we just need a hotel there for
those issues. There's the new one right there on the interstate there. It's even got a Starbucks in it there. So there's been some developments late in the week because there were some allegations, Janelle, that there were some meetings that should have been public that weren't public to discuss some of this.
A lot of alleged FOIA violations by the quorum court, which is, of course, a very serious violation, not just to us as journalists, but to the citizens of Pope County who have a vested interest in attending these meetings. And there's allegations, actually, I'm looking at an affidavit right now from one of the quorum court members testifying to the judge that, yes, there were illegal meetings. I witnessed them. I was invited to them, and he signed the affidavit. So there's not only civil litigation now filed about this, there's also a criminal complaint that's been filed, and the prosecuting attorney in Pope County is recusing himself, asking for the appointment of a special prosecuting attorney, because you can't be in Pope County and have not come in contact in some way with this casino business over the last several months.
Yeah, the flurry of activity that went on this week was just amazing, you know, going back to the June Arkansas Racing Commission meeting where, you know, they denied all 5 applications and then this past week, everything just picked up another notch. And, you know, on Thursday, they denied Gulfside's application, which was expected. Everybody thought that would happen, but...
And they're going to pursue, this is the Arkansas Racing Commission did that.
Yes.
They're going to pursue legal, I guess, activity now.
Yeah, they've exhausted their administrative appeals. So now the next step is to keeping that same initial application going forward. The only way to keep that alive is to go to the actual courts and circuit court.
The Racing Commission has opened up a 90-day window to consider the Cherokee Nation businesses proposed. I got to keep them all straight here. So, so what do you think will happen in that 90-day window, Wes?
I think you get every one of the original applicants that submitted bids, proposals to the county. I think they're going to resubmit those bids, and you may see some others come in. It doesn't halt any other proposals from coming in. So I think the competition is for casino operations in Polk County is huge.
And with this complaint being filed here, this is going to be a public comment period. About 90 days. You're going to see a lot of public comments.
You are going to see a lot of public comments from groups who are completely opposed to the casino in Polk County, period. And then also the different casino operators who feel like they've been wronged, whether it be by the FOIA violations that are alleged or, you know, just by the rules that came in kind of after the fact or as they were going. You also have questions of whether or not the constitutionality of, you know, the actual ballot initiative that was passed and voted on by the people overturns some of the acts that were passed by. So you have conflicts everywhere.
And it reminds me of the whole issue with when medical marijuana came up. You had all this competition and for these dispensaries and cultivation centers. Then you had the legal issues, the complaints that pushed it back 2 years which means that we may
Well,
not see.
And that's a good point, because we're not talking about just one lawsuit. You
Right.
have several. So Gulf has one that's going to go to circuit court, but you also have a federal complaint that's been filed.
Right.
You have a complaint that's been filed
you
in
got
Cook
local
County.
complaints,
You've got
too.
You're talking in criminal and civil. So you have, I think my count is 5 lawsuits at this point going forward.
All right, roll the dice there. We'll see what happens and keep up with that. So, all right, let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about some more things happening in Arkansas politics this week. Janelle Lilley, Wes Brown are with me when we come back. And welcome back to the program. I'm joined by Wes Brown and Janelle Lilley. We're talking about some things happening in Arkansas politics this past week. We had 2 Democratic presidential candidates come to Arkansas this past week. Amy Klobuchar running for president, Beto O'Rourke running for president as well. Both of them made gun control front and center with their public comments that are going to be here. Do you think that it shifts public opinion?
Not in Arkansas.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
I don't think it's going to shift public opinion in this state, but there is certainly a national conversation. And as you mentioned earlier to me, that Walmart entering this conversation is big news. So maybe it opens a conversation, but I don't think it's going to shift opinion.
Yeah, I don't think it moves it. Like you said, it doesn't move the needle in Arkansas, but it gets them the opportunity, Klobuchar and Beto, the opportunity to practice their talking points for in other areas, because this the gun issue has come back front and center following the mass shooting in El Paso and Dayton. So that issue is going to stay on the headlines at front and center in the political debate. So they need to practice their thoughts on that and set policy on what they want to do.
What do you make of Walmart CEO Doug McMillon stepping into that? That was not asked for. I know Walmart was the scene of the El Paso shooting. There was also a shooting in a Mississippi Walmart as well. So you are not surprised that he talked about it, but it was unsolicited that he brought it up in the earnings call.
Yeah, but I think that issue it's a big part of their businesses. The business, if you go to a Walmart store, they have a big area for gun display. Even though some of their employees have said they were reticent to that Walmart promotes this. From a business standpoint, they're going to continue to sell guns, and being in Arkansas, that's part of our culture, and it's a part of the culture of some of its the consumers that come to Walmart. So it's not surprising to me that he spoke up about it, but pushing it into the political debate is going to be interesting in how Walmart fits within that.
Not a place you see Walmart wade into very often.
Yeah, but I kind of understand it, right? Because you want to feel safe going to the store. And I've got to say, even just in my friend group, after the Walmart shooting, I saw friends of mine posting on Facebook that they did have a moment of pause going into Walmart the next day with their kids. Just a little anxiety there. And so I understand why Walmart would want to take a stand and try and at least push the conversation forward and make their customers feel safe.
And Walmart is kind of the retail hometown or town hall right now for America. If you have a Walmart in your community, that's where people come. Some people just come to Walmart just to be there. So the fact that he spoke out against it is kind of like the mayor of a city in some roles, because there is the goal of Walmart is to be in every community in America. So it kind of gives you an idea what America is thinking.
All right, let's turn our attention to congressional races and not congressional races. Yeah. Celeste Williams announces for the 3rd District she's going to challenge Representative Steve Womack up there. She is a long shot candidate to win that race, but at the same time, it's got to feel good for Democrats to have a candidate that they think they can get behind, that stands for their values, and to run up there in the 3rd District, which is changing.
I think it's a good sign for the political contests in this area, that you have a candidate that you can, for each party, that folks can really have a choice there. It's important, at least no matter whether she's a long shot candidate or not, to have the conversations and have the debate and let people have a chance to, vote with the party that they choose.
She's part of this Mom's Demand group, too, is a little bit of her background, as well as being in healthcare.
Yeah, and it forced the opposition, the Mr. Womack, who's the incumbent, to at least get out and campaign a little bit. With our congressional districts being all Republican, they really haven't had to do much in terms of getting reelected or so. I think this is as you said, she's a long shot, but it's a step toward the future of the Democratic Party coming back to some type of relevance in Arkansas.
I'm going to throw some numbers out to you all that are a little bit old because I've only looked at them through 2017, but the first congressional district this decade has lost 40,000 in population. The fourth district's lost 16,000. The third district's gained 50,000.
Wow.
When legislative redistricting comes around, congressional redistricting in 2021, the first and the fourth get big, and the third loses some big counties, Sebastian County, maybe Pope County, maybe Boone County, and that makes Benton and Washington County much more relevant, like Pulaski County is in the second district.
Yeah, you're seeing in that population shift, and you're probably going to see it when the census numbers come out at the end of the year, that population growth in Arkansas is around two centers, Jonesboro up in northeast Arkansas and northwest Arkansas. So the dynamics that changed politically. Here in central Arkansas, as you noted, you see this declining number in terms of the population, even though Little Rock is always going to be the center of Arkansas until probably in my lifetime, but it changes the whole conversation.
Clark Tucker announces he's running for the state Senate, so there will not be a rematch in the second congressional district race between French Hill and Clark Tucker. But what do you make of Clark Tucker entering that race? I mean, I think that district is like 63% went for Hillary Clinton. It's a heavily Democratic district.
Not surprising. I think, you know, Clark Tucker has been an institution in politics for a while now, and it doesn't surprise me that he wants his voice back in the game and, you know, in the public service arena.
Yeah, and I think, you know, for the Democratic Party, you don't have, like you said, you know, very few Democrats that have a brand, you know, that has something that they can pull a coalition together, and I think it bodes maybe for something in the future. We don't know.
I'm not hearing any names for a second district challenger to French Hill, but this would be a good time for someone to float some trial balloons. That's just all I'm saying. Wes, Janelle, and I have our phones are open, so send us your
I just got a text.
Lastly, there is a special election to fill Charles Blake's seat here in Little Rock, and they're just down to two people.
Darrell Stevens, who ran against Blake in 2018, and also Denise Enid, who's a newcomer. So you'll have a person, and whoever wins this will be their first time as an elected official, and so it'll be interesting. There were 5 candidates that actually ran, so it's an important district for Pulaski County.
Yep.
It is, and it's an important district for the legislature as a whole. I mean, I think you're very representative, even though you're in the minority party there, having someone from Little Rock speaking on behalf of it's important to have that representation.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Wes Brown, Janelle Lilley, always good to get y'all's take on everything. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're back with more right after this.